Okay, happy Friday. This is a top 5 Friday video. Damn it. Okay, happy Friday. This is a video top 5 for Friday. Take you into the weekend, something to watch on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday before I come back on Monday. The first one, number 1, The Void by Moondrop, which is their first headphone release. It's a budget release. Got some feedback from basically everybody that touched it and said that, you know, the sound's not bad, but the build quality is really clearly budget. And it looks like they're going to delay the release. Very smart move. The way that these are built, this is a completely separate part, and there's nothing really wrong with this right here. And also because this is where the driver is, the sound is not a problem. I don't know if they're going to retune it much because I think it's pretty good. But the chassis, this part is an issue. And they listened to the feedback, so they're going to delay that. Very smart move by the company. The Maka, which some people are familiar with, I had the same issue where it was quite a battle, actually. I'd like them to see this moment at the beginning of this video and see that this is what Moondrop's doing. In the long run, this is the better idea. Trust me when I say that. It's the short money is nothing. Think the long game. Moondrop's doing the long game. Kudos to them. Very good job. That's number 1. The Void is going to be delayed for about a month. Okay, number 2 of the top 5. We have a Planar, a tidal wave of Planars coming in. Some that are coming in right about now is the Tangzu, I believe it's called, 14.5 millimeter planar. I've seen a photograph of this where the front looks plastic like the Muse Hi-Fi, which was, I won't comment on it, but I hope this sounds better than the Muse. I'll be getting this one way or the other. If I got a secret shop or they send it to me, nobody's contacted me, whatever, I'll be getting it. Another one is the Stellaris from Moondrop. I want to get this one obviously because it's Moondrop. I believe it is on the way, or when they release it, it'll be coming. So I'm very interested. It looks like between a Starlight or a Starfield or whatever that was called. And anyway, Moondrop does good work. So I'm looking forward to this. So that's coming. And then another one is the PLA by CCA. This one is coming. I got tracking for this one right now. This photograph is a little bit dated. This is covered with black plastic, so it's not actually open back. It would be weird if this was open back with no screen or anything to protect it, so it actually is not as this picture would show. So this is definitely coming in. I'm 99% sure the Moondrop is coming in. And then the Tangzu, I don't really know if it is or not, but I'll get my hands on it, so that's not a big deal. So that's number 2, Planar Wave. Number 2 or 3 is coming in, and there'll probably be one more before 11/11. And for people who are asking, especially one dude, thank you so much, Guy, you are very tenacious. Mine's coming as well, and that's number 2. Okay, number 3, we have a special edition Olina that's going to be coming out, and it is a retuned. It's not the same. It addresses lots of things: filters, dampening. It's going to use the same driver because it's very high quality, but it is a retune, and it is a different set, and it is based on your feedback because that's kind of critical, the return of the input. Speaking of Moondrop, they have done a lot of stuff where they redo the same thing. This will be really the one and only time that I revisit collab, because the driver is such good quality, and a couple of the issues were so clear and not challenging to overcome that go ahead and do that. Some people are going to want that, other people won't, but I think it's a fantastically tuned set. Remember, the Olina was originally an attempt to bring the O2's driver and something similar to it to a price bracket that was at that point 35% of the original. Now the O2 has come down, and a lot of people have got the Olina and they like it. They've modified it with double damp, double filter mods, and other stuff like that. So it turned out about the way I expected it. Now, polish the diamond, and this is what this set's going to be. It's actually going to be coming out quite soon, so look out for that. I'll obviously have a review of it. It'll be extremely biased, but I'll proceed anyway. I think it's pretty dope. And that's number 3. Okay, number 4, question and answer. Stuck on an island, what 3 albums are you bringing? Let me go do that real quick. Tupac, strictly for I won't say the whole thing because I don't want to get dinged. This is rage. This is anger. This is anger at friends. This is anger at society. This is anger at feeling like you're being disrespected. And a lot of emotions that we all feel. It doesn't matter the color of your skin or where you're from. Those are universal feelings. Tupac expresses that rage really, really raw and clearly, and spoke to me when I first heard it, speaks to me still to this day. The lyrics to the songs, I know everyone in my head. I would take this with me because there's moments where you got to get that out, and this is a good soundtrack to the background while I'm getting that out. This is just absolute classic of the best that he ever released. The opposite of that, or the cure for that, would be Bob Marley Legend. This is what chills you out. There's something called Hawaiian, which is Jamaican Hawaiian. They mix it because people in Hawaii love Bob Marley so much, and there's a lot of Hawaiian music that's similar to reggae. It's Hawaiian or Hawaiian. Lively Up Yourself is a great up-tempo. Waiting in Vain is a beautiful song. One Love, Could You Be Loved, No Woman, No Crime, Coming In From the Cold, Jammin'. You've got to lively up yourself. Just the whole album is dope. It reminds me of Hawaii, and a nice subsystem is really cool for this. If I wanted to be... This is for today, by the way. This could change at any moment. Speaking of classical, one album or one collection that I would get would be Tchaikovsky for... So Tupac is for the anger. Bob Marley's for the chill, to pull me up out of that. And then if I wanted to level up one more and actually be enthused and happy, I ditch the lyrics because that takes a little bit of my focus from just going straight into the joy. Tchaikovsky's got a lot of waltzes, and it's very up-tempo stuff that makes me feel great. I've always been drawn to Tchaikovsky, and I image him in the opposite way that I do Beethoven, where there's a lot of moody stuff. Tchaikovsky, in my image, is the opposite, and I used it when I wanted to bring myself up. So I would go with Tupac for the rage, because got to let that out. I would go Bob Marley for the chill, because after that rage, you got to chill out and be all about love, smoking blunts, and just enjoying life. And then Tchaikovsky would push me up to the next level. So that would be the three. That's a good question. Now, next one. How do you talk about IEMs and audiophile shit to people who are less or not interested in it? It's a big part of your life, so it makes sense you talk about it, and you can maybe make it interesting. Most of the people around me in Japan are what they're called chimpira, which is like a level below gangsters. They're wannabe gangsters. They're people that do the dirty work to try to get up to higher ranks, because I have a very aggressive personality. If you see my Instagram, we do sparring in the middle of the street, which is just unheard of. But the person that I spar with is a person that his brothers are up in that world, and it's not a big deal for him to stand in the middle of the street with headgear and throw punches when other people are driving by, looking and realizing he's Japanese and giving him a look like, what are you doing? You're just encouraging this crazy American. He doesn't care what they think. And he doesn't really talk about music except to say, what's on your boombox? That is to say, music is the soundtrack of my life. YouTube became a way to express that I had opinions that were different from others based on my music. But when I stop listening to music and I'm not doing that, I'm with my fiance, enjoying life. I'm out training in the street with a boombox playing background music. Music is with me all the way, because you can see my boomboxes, different ones. I have a collection of them, so I take them with me everywhere I go, car audio system. But I don't engage in conversation about it, because music is like religion. It's a personal thing, and telling other people they should try this song or listen to that is really kind of not my thing. And I also don't recommend audio gear to friends, because I don't recommend things to friends. They like what they like. If I'm asked a question, I'll tell them. But I don't really discuss audio gear on times that I'm not talking to you guys or responding. So it's a separate part of my life. I don't get into it. Good question, though. How do you store all your audio gear? Do you have like a labeled shelf like Kryn does? Just curious. I try. The bigger thing is that there's the boxes that everything comes in is quite huge, and the volume of cardboard boxes is just staggering. It's unbelievable. First world problems. And then the secondary thing is the storage of other items, which takes up a large amount of space. It's crazy. But those boxes, where they're taped with that brown tape, and holy crap. So where do I store? I got a special room really to store it. And then there's another place where I store the big boxes that got to be recycled and taken out every few weeks because it needs to be moved that fast. And then the last one. What is the worst thing in this hobby? Let me stop this now because that's a good question. I'm going to give that its own little moment. Question number 5. What is the worst thing about this hobby? Question number 5. Section number 5. Just keep going. I'm going to ask you to reply to this underneath in the comment section because I'm a reviewer and I look at it from a reviewer's point, and I think sellers and not sellers, manufacturers, and the amount of active control and pressures that they put on channels, particularly smaller ones, it's a business and it's for profit, and I understand why they're doing it, but it makes confusing narratives within the hobby where some people say something and other people say another thing. It is related to the spot in the hobby and the amount of need for one another, the relationship between the two parties. DMs being used as casual chat things for stuff that people don't have the balls to say out in the open. And then when you say those things in the open, you're called toxic, when in fact what's going on in DMs is way more nasty. I've seen it's been shared with me. That people think that's not going to be shared blows my mind. That's a couple things that annoy me. Go ahead and leave your annoyances below, and I'll let them, people can read that, because you're on the buyer's side and there's some things that you look at and just throw your hands up. Go ahead and share that down below. And you guys have an awesome weekend. I should have ended on a better question, but whatever. This is the big one. And I'm out.